So, Nigel Farage announced that he was going to scrap indefinite leave to remain and make sure that people who are born overseas don't claim benefits in Britain. And my God, are they freaking out. Now, I think this is a completely reasonable thing. I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but I actually don't think we should be a welfare state for the entire world. And I know I'm not alone in that. But also, it just seems to be straightforwardly evident that this is costing us billions of pounds. We know that the migrants are costing us at least £1 billion a month in welfare, but there's going to be all sorts of hidden expenses in that. And Nigel claims that this would save £234 billion by scrapping indefinite leave to remain. Now, the think tank that these numbers came from have actually repudiated their own work and said, oh no, now that Nigel Farage is using it, no, we disavow, it's not true. But I suspect that might be a bit of a political maneuver, discrediting themselves as a source. Because Nigel's like, good point, I like that. I feel that this might not actually be honest on their part, but I haven't looked into it. Because it just doesn't matter. Because even if it didn't save us a penny, it would still be the right thing to do. Millions of these people who are allowed to come in, this was the Boris wave that Nigel is in particular targeting, should not have been here. They should not be here. And they should go home. It's that simple. It's really not very complicated. And it's not even a question of morality, really. There's nothing immoral about sending people who have just come here back to where they came from because a betraying government decided to properly stab us in the back for their own political gain. No, sorry, go back. You aren't wanted here. This is not something we asked for. And you've got people who are like, look, I spent 10 years as a foreign citizen working in Singapore. No free housing, no free healthcare, no free benefits, no free schooling for my child, and I never expected any of it. That's because that's the global norm. Every country looks after its own citizens. At least you would think. And that's the thing about them freaking out about the Boris wave and anyone else having to go home. You'll go home to a country that is run in your interests. Unlike staying in a country like ours, which is also running your interests at our expense. So you've got a huge population in this country who are deeply resentful of your presence here. It's like, sorry, we never asked you to come here, and you're taking advantage of us, and the government is telling us we're bad people for being upset by this situation. Absolutely not. Our country needs to become like a normal country and just only look after, prioritise British citizens. That's all we're asking for. It's not even like, if I was asking for something really crazy, I'd be like, okay, I can understand the resistance. But just saying, look, I'd like my country to be for the British people and not for foreign people. And if foreign people happen to live here, then they live here essentially as metics, as people who are allowed to live and work and pay taxes here, but don't get anything from the state. Because they're not British. That's the way that every other country works. That's the way our country should work. And that's, again, it's not unusual. It is normal. We are the unusual ones for having an insane welfare state that's open to access to anyone in the entire world. It's madness. And it's obviously ruining us. And the thing is, we sit there and go, well, why shouldn't they be able to claim benefits? It's like, well, for lots of reasons, actually. I mean, one, we have a culture which stigmatizes benefits claimants. Right? Our culture, if you are an indolent, just parasite on the dole, everyone scorns you. And there's a general pressure to get a job. But if you're from another country and you're not from a culture like that, then you might not be bothered at all about claiming benefits from the government. In fact, you might see it as being stupid not to claim benefits that are available. And therefore you incentivize in your community, not only indolence, but also the bringing over of fellow travelers, your fellow countrymen, to specifically claim our benefits. And then what happens with, say, remittances? Oh, you send our money that you siphoned from the state straight back to your home country. Obviously, that's going to make us poorer. Why are we doing this? Why would we want that? How is that in our advantage? And the answer is it's not. It's absolutely mental. And in 30 years' time, people are going to look back and go, they didn't really allow that, did they? And we're like, oh, it gets worse. In Britain, foreign nationals can access housing benefits, the NHS, even if they've never paid a penny in tax. And we're told it's racist to question it. I mean, they will have genuine trouble believing that this was the case, but this is how it is at the moment, and this is definitely going to change. Now, there's a debate on Good Morning Britain about this, where they got a bunch of an English chap and a foreign chap. The English chap's like, well, I think it's actually reasonable that the English aren't like exploited, and the foreign chap is like, I think it's good that we exploit you. How dare you? You're a racist. And you've got Ed Davey and all of the rest absolutely panicking. Nigel Farage is wrong. This is outrageous and will be very costly to the taxpayer. It's not going to be costly to the taxpayer for them to not steal our money. Like, that's just genuinely insane, Ed. Like, the numbers are in. We know that mass immigration is making us poorer. We know that it is depressing wages. We know that it is driving up house costs. We know that it is occupying jobs that British people could be working. We know that it is occupying space on services. I mean, take a train, Ed. And what do you think about this? How difficult is it to find a seat these days, Ed? Like, we know we are spending billions on welfare. When it comes to the NHS, when it comes to housing, when it comes to just money we give away for job seekers or whatever it is now that they do. Like, we know this is costing us a huge amount of money. The idea that you're like, oh, this will be very costly to the taxpayer. It's like, you know what? We'll risk it. How about that? We'll just take a chance and see how it is. And in 10 years' time, when the overwhelming bulk of the Boris wave have gone home and there are millions who have just been like, okay, the British state is not just going to fund me, to battery farm me, as Connor puts it, in Britain. I'm just going to go home because there's no particular reason for me to be here now. We'll see. We'll see how it is. We'll see how much wealthier people seem. We'll see what the average house price is like. We'll see whether young people can actually get on the housing ladder, shall we? We'll see. We'll take a risk. Because as things stand at the moment, it's shit. Everything is shit, and there is no light at the end of the tunnel. And everyone's like, right, okay, so this is not getting any better. And Ed Davey's like, you know what? This is how things should be. This way we're going where nothing's ever going to get any better? That's the Liberal Democrat plan. That's the Green plan. That's the Labour plan. Like, that's the Conservative plan. Like, why would we want to be on this road? This is bad and is not working for us. And so all they can do is, well, I mean, this is racist. I mean, look at this guy's face. Look how panicking he is. Look, wide-eyed. There's no limit to who Farage will come for. First it was asylum seekers. Now it's legal migrants like my parents. I don't want to know where this ends. Listen, Mr. Salick, you're here against the British public's will. We did not vote for this. In every time we were able to vote for or against immigration, we voted against immigration. And so, yes, they shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here. Millions of people who are here shouldn't be here. And we would like you to go back to your countries of origin and actually live where you're supposed to be, not at our expense. This is actually not a very controversial thing. If you care about, democracy. But I guess that's off the table when it comes to you, yours, and immigration, isn't it? Anyway, obviously Claudia Webb is like this. It's not an overreaction to call this what it is. Racism. So I thought when I was preparing this video, I thought I was going to be able to say that with a straight face. Well then, I guess you're just going to have to live with that, aren't you, Claudia? You're just going to be like, well, everyone's just racist because they don't want to pay for 1 billion Somalians to live in London. I can't believe they're not going to pay for tower blocks full of weird people from all over the world to just live here for no reason, never integrate, never do anything, and never contribute. I can't believe it. This is racism. So, cry. Cry me a river, Claudia. Maybe you can find a country that's not racist and move there. Have you ever considered that? Anyway, as you can see, Farage's plan to deny settlement of 800,000 migrants will worsen staff shortages. Wait. Who's that good for? That's good for workers? Oh, well, okay. I mean, as someone who works, I don't work in these jobs, but I work all day, every day, constantly. I'm okay with staff shortages because that means the average person's going to be earning more money. That's good. Driving up costs, well, maybe have you considered that actually the way the market has been, some things have been artificially low. and we've been paying a price for that artificial lowness of those products in the consistency of our culture and the decency in the country and the actual prospects of our future. We appear, in the interest of getting slightly cheaper things in the supermarket, to have been burning up our entire future. And if I have to make the choice, I will go for the things being slightly more expensive in the supermarket and having a future, rather than slightly cheaper now and burning up my future. I'm just saying. And crippling services. I love this crippling services. And this is what I think it's Beth Rigby is asking Farage a question here. She's just, well, I mean, won't that be bad for our services? What, the services that are shit and not fit for purpose? What, the NHS that you can't get an appointment on, that 7.5 million people are on a waiting list for? What are we talking about? Housing? What, social housing? Are you going to try and get some of that? Do you think that's going to continue to be bad? Like, none of our services work. Everything is grinding to a halt. And Beth's like, well, if we change anything, then these crappy services might not continue to be crappy. It's like, well, that's too bad. And like the NHS, the holy NHS, I saw someone on Twitter earlier. It was like, the NHS is kind of like Britain's own God Emperor. 1,000 souls need to be fed to it every day, or else it dies. And it's like, yeah, kind of, actually. Like, the NHS is a proportional thing. The number of people who come to this country keeps increasing, and therefore the amount of money we have to spend on the NHS keeps increasing. The amount of foreigners we have to recruit into the NHS keeps increasing, because the NHS, it becomes proportional to the number of people in the country. If, for example, 10 million people were to leave, the NHS could get smaller. We could actually have a functioning healthcare system, which, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think that sounds wonderful, and I think we should do it. But anyway, moving on. Then you got Andrew Marr. Where does this end? Is it too much to say? Blood on the streets? Whoa, Andrew. The streets are running with blood as it is. Are you not watching the machete fight videos? There was a sword fight the other day that I saw going around of two foreigners sword fighting over a bush, over a hedgerow, and I'm just like, what? What are these people doing here? And they're, oh no, I forgot, their GDP, their raw GDP right there. What was I thinking? Like, get them out of my country, Andrew. In fact, we'll watch this because it's genuinely hilarious how excitable Andrew Marr is about this.
Who are these people? How long have some of them been here? Are they working? Where are they working? How much tax do we get from them? It's very hard to get answers.
Incredible. If Andrew can't answer those questions, and like, who are these people? We don't know. Where are they working? Are they working? We don't know. Where are they working? We don't know. Are they paying tax? We don't know. It's like, then why would we want them here? Like, Andrew's like, the Deliveroo economy is going to be crippled by this. It's like, fucking good. I don't know, Andrew. I don't care. I don't think. In fact, I know that low wage earners are not a net benefit to the country. And even if they were, I don't care. I don't want 1 billion Somalians on Deliveroo scooters driving around and conducting the black economy and then sending money home in remittances every month. I just don't want that. We're not here for that. That's not what our country is for. It's for us, not for them. They can piss off.
Reform talks of low-wage workers with dependence on benefits and claims that deporting many people, and remember, we are not talking here about illegal immigrants, would save more than £200 billion in welfare payments.
And it probably would. And it's probably going to be and the rest. And the reason that we have to keep hiking up taxes on the law-abiding native, hard-working native population, Rachel Reeves is like, oh, you know, we've got a £22 billion black hole. Oh, it turns out the £22 billion black hole is actually something like a £44 billion black hole. Actually, it's a bit more than that. Actually, the next budget's going to be fucking ruinous. By the way, you're screwed. But, you know, the benefits payments to the foreigners who have come here, they will continue as usual. And it's like, no. I'm tired of this. Absolutely tired of this. Just deport. Just start deporting.
Other parties say this is nonsense. But presumably
the other party's just completely invested in the status quo. They're like, yeah, no, this is the way that Britain should be. It's like, Britain's gross. You've made our country gross. You've made us a third world country. You are impoverishing us. Like, Britain is not a rich country anymore. And everyone knows it. Everyone can see it. Everyone's struggling. And it's just like, okay, well, I think things should change. I don't think we should carry on. And the main establishment parties are all like, yeah, but this is how things ought to be. This is proper liberalism. It's like, okay, well, I mean, Nigel is not any kind of radical right-winger by any stretch of the imagination. And when he proposes a very middle-of-the-road centrist normie policy, like maybe we shouldn't be paying for foreigners to live in this country, everyone starts freaking out.
Welfare savings would be big. For now, I just want you to imagine hundreds of thousands of people who've been living here peaceably and quietly, working away, being arrested and forcibly expelled from this country.
I can't stop imagining. I can't stop. This is the British Defence League. Oh, God, Andrew. Please don't lead me up the garden path on this, Nigel. Come on, mate. You're going to win. You've got to do this. I want to see Andrew Marr in tears by the end of this. Holy shit. Andrew, I can't stop dreaming.
I want you to think about the businesses instantly shuttered. All the places where experienced people suddenly vanish there.
Sorry. Andrew's like, by the way, all of the vape shops and Turkish barbers and American candy stores and Bangladeshi luggage shops that have sprung up on your high streets, they're all going to close, you know. They're all going to close. Someone's going to have to open a proper British business in those shops. Have you thought about that? Have you considered the consequences? Like, yes, Andrew, I have. I'm probably going to vote for Nigel on this alone. I don't want to, but I don't seem to have any choice. And he actually seems to have hit on something vaguely right-wing. And so now I'm like, yes, if it's going to make all the fucking Turkish barbers and like luggage shops close down, then yes, I'm going to vote for it. God, yes, all those businesses shuttered. Thank God. Like there will be slightly fewer fried chicken shops around. Oh God, how will we cope?
Homes emptied.
Oh, homes emptied. Brilliant. So my kids will be able to buy a fucking house, Andrew. So I got quite angry there, and I've decided to cut that bit out. But yes, Andrew, yes. Houses emptied so British people can buy them. They can live in Britain, the country of their birth, their patrimony, that has been handed down from generation upon generation upon generation since the days of Alfred the Great. They ought to be able to live affordably in this country and not have house prices rocketed into space because of mass demand from foreigners. Foreigners shouldn't be buying houses in Britain, by and large. That's just the way that things ought to be. And so, yes, Andrew, I want you to just deal with it. You're just going to have to deal with it. Oh, my God. And he carries on.
Emptied. The childhood friendship groups broken up.
There's no way the Boris wave has childhood friendship groups, Andrew. There's no way. And if that's the case, then so be it. They should have thought about that when they moved here against our will. The British public was like, no, we don't want immigration. And yet somehow they're fucking everywhere. How has this happened, Andrew? And yes, there will be consequences.
The neighbours up in arms. I want to ask.
We're not going to be up in arms. We're not there. We're like, well, toodaloo.
Where does this end? Is it too much to say blood on the streets?
Well, what's going to happen? You think the migrants are going to resist by force, do you? Do you think they're going to wage war against the British state that's trying to deport them? Do you? I'm not sure we really want them here then. Do we? But I absolutely love the hysteria. This is going to be blood on the streets. Andrew, there's blood on the streets already, mate. Yeah, did you forget Southport? Did you forget all of the terror attacks? Did you forget just the random crimes that are occurring all over the place that aren't getting solved? Did you forget about all of that? Did you think that this was a safe country? Mental. Absolutely mental. But Sir James here points it out, is that, look, where does this end? Well, it ends when England is a minimum of 90% ethnically English once again. If you happen to be in that 10% that we deem worthy of staying here to live alongside us, then so be it. And that's genuinely what I think people are asking for. This is not anything that's absurd to ask for either. This is the country and the state that it was in 1992. When it was 93, 94% ethnically English in 1992. And then you decided to stab us in the fucking back and just say, we're going to ruin your country. We're going to import millions upon millions of foreigners from all over the world. It's not any one place. And we're going to let them take over your towns and cities. We're going to make you pay for the privilege. And we have decided, no, we're not happy with that. We want the country to be at least 90% ethnically English, if not more. And I'm the moderate when it comes to this, by the way. I think that's a very moderate stance, and I'm completely happy with it. But there are definitely people to my right who want it to be higher than that. So all I'm saying is, come to the compromise with the moderates now, like me, like James, like Nigel, in fact, before we get to the point where people are like, right, okay, well, now I'm not even going to be considering the moderate stance. We're going for the hardline stance. And I don't know whether you've noticed all the woke presenters that we just covered, but people are waking up to all of this. And the country is changing. Nigel Farage is probably going to get a bump in the polls after suggesting this, because people are sick of it.